What's going on, everybody? Hillside Gardener is back today with just a short clip here. Give you some advice and some tips about the difference in top dressing and side dressing and why it's important. So stick around and hope you learn something. So top dressing, in my opinion here, is where you see the garden. If it was early spring and I bought a truckload of manure, or I had several compost piles full of material that was ready to be administered onto the garden there, that would be considered a top dressing. You're putting, 5-6 inches on top of your garden. Maybe you till it in, maybe you do like I do and just kind of do the no-till, at least low-till, and just let it kind of sit there, and the rain and everything is going to work it in just fine. You don't need to worry about it, but everybody has their own thing. So if you like to till or turn the soil over, I get it. But adding a layer of anything on top would be top dressing. You could use chemical fertilizers where you would broadcast if you got an entire bag of something and sprinkle it on top over the entire surface of your garden. Or this could be even used for your yard. So you could top dress your entire lawn with a truckload of topsoil or humus or something like that early in the spring or maybe late in the fall. Okay, but side dressing is a little bit more strategic. What I have here in front of me, it's a little bit of a compost I've mixed up. This is a well-aged horse manure, the rotted tree stump that I showed you in my most recent video, and also about a couple scoops of my own compost pile. So blended those three together, which is going to be an awesome boost of nutrition for these plants. So it's really quite simple. So take one of these yellow squash plants here. These guys are notoriously heavy feeders. So what does that mean? Throughout the season, they're going to use a ton of your soil's nutrition. So it's always important to reapply. Make sure that you leave what am I trying to say here? Leave an ample supply of things that the plant needs. However, unlike chemical water-soluble fertilizers, these guys here, when you add side dressing of organic material, it's not going to be an instant shot of nitrogen or something like that directly to your plants. So you got to plan accordingly and kind of put keep that in your mind that you're going to need to apply the side dressing before you start noticing nutritional deficiencies. So very simply, and you would do this with a wheelbarrow full. You could wheelbarrow full. You can get a shovel or big buckets, but this is just a small scale demonstration. Doing this by hand with a little cup like this, little flower pot, I guess. It'd be pretty uneconomical and pretty labor intensive, but also it gives you a chance to kind of, you get in there, you're just going to put a little bit around your plant, around the base, and just kind of, use your fingers, stir it in a little bit, and there you go. Nature's going to take its course, while it's going to water it in for you just nicely. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Just adding a little bit of a compost like I'm doing here. I'll show you here in a second. It's really that simple. You just add a little bit layer of your compost materials on top like that. That is side dressing your plants. Now, like I mentioned, the top dressing, you might have a truckload of something to spread on in the spring or fall or something like that, which is fine. But when there's plants in the garden, you don't really have that luxury. You can't just dump a big truckload on and hope you're not going to hurt anything or cover up some baby plants or break some stems or something like that. So side dressing is the more appropriate option, I believe, for the summertime application. But yeah, so this garden here has had no chemical fertilizers whatsoever, just homemade compost, aged horse manure, etc. A little bit of corn finally starting to pop up there. We had a big rainstorm where it was all kind of laying down on the ground the other day, so there's a couple still on the ground there. I might need to help prop those up. But yeah, so side dress your garden. Yeah, give those guys an extra boost of nutrition. And also, I'd like to mention one more thing, that as with the organic matter, it's going to break down. The worms are going to eat it, bacteria, soil microorganisms are going to take it and recycle it, plants are going to eat it, and they're going to deplete it, and it's going to go away. So keep in mind that as you add this on, it's not going to be there 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, maybe even. So, yeah, always keep adding more and more to your garden. You can never have too much compost in your garden, at least not in my experience, unless you're trying really, really hard. But yeah, there's my cabbages. They seem to be doing all right. Get my shadow out of the way here. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. If you did and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscribe button. We've got tons of cool organic gardening videos coming up for the spring and into the summer months. And as the garden changes, I'll be sure to bring you guys along and take you on the tour, let you a little bit on the inside of the hillside garden. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.